It's strange to think that my first trip to Night City would be on a Nintendo handheld. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most ambitious open-world RPGs ever made. It's a sprawling, high-tech city loaded with choices, danger, and intrigue. Yet here it is, running on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's the kind of port that many thought were impossible, and even when the Switch 2 was first revealed, few imagined that such a demanding game of such scope would work properly on Nintendo's hybrid console. But credit to CD Projekt Red, as they've spent years reshaping Cyberpunk 2077 into something far more stable and impressive than the version that famously stumbled at launch. Now, this sprawling RPG promises a chance to take Night City wherever you go. What's it like? Distribute your stat points, upgrade your cyberware, and we've got a city to burn as we review Cyberpunk 2077 on Nintendo Switch 2. Cyberpunk 2077 is a slow burn, taking its time to set up both character relationships and the overall story of the game. The opening hours ease you into the underbelly of Night City, laying the groundwork for what quickly becomes a twisting, emotional ride. I started off as a nomad, beginning out in the dusty outskirts before being drawn into the chaotic sprawl of the city itself. It wasn't long before my nomadic heritage played a bigger role than I expected, unlocking unique dialogue options and choices in the later acts, some of which even shaped personal relationships and romance paths that I didn't even see coming. What surprised me the most was how well the game balances its grand, cinematic story moments with bite-sized missions that fit perfectly for portable play. Whether you're chasing down the main story or exploring Night City and the opportunity, or danger she offers, most missions wrap up neatly within 45 minutes to an hour, splitting the adventure into digestible chunks perfect for short sessions or even long hauls. As you start to settle into the game, a pivotal moment happens very early in the story that I won't spoil here, but the tension immediately sparks up and the stakes explode, and the game sinks its hooks into you for good. From that point on, Cyberpunk keeps you guessing with clever twists, outstanding set pieces, and plenty of jaw-dropping surprises that left me gasping and scrambling to see what would happen next. The story and the characters are incredibly well written, and the stakes, threats, and heavy themes all bring gravity to the situation. There are some thematic moments that are uncomfortable and shocking, but it's handled with a certain respect designed to make the player feel ill at ease. This game is definitely not for a younger audience. Cyberpunk offers a flexible, satisfying gameplay experience that lets you shape your approach however you like. Combat starts simple with reliable shooting and basic gear, but as you level up and unlock more abilities, guns can just become one tool in a far bigger arsenal. Hacking the environment or even enemies themselves becomes just as viable as pulling the trigger, letting you disrupt cameras, fry circuits, or cause explosions without even firing a shot. Melee combat also surprised me as there's a subtle soft lock system, similar to what you'd find in Call of Duty's melee attacks, that makes swinging a blade or slashing a knife not only viable, but fast and visceral, making it an option that feels every bit as useful as firearms do with the right build. Driving took a little while to get used to because it feels a bit looser compared to something like GTA, but once I found my rhythm, cruising through Night City became second nature. Motorcycles in particular are a joy to weave between traffic on, and vehicle combat surprised me with thoughtful lock-on systems that help manage shooting while driving without making things feel too automatic or dumbed down. The world of Cyberpunk itself rewards patience, and there's plenty to uncover for the curious player who wants to hunt bounties, explore alleyways, and dig through the city's nooks and crannies with hidden gear and crafting material tucked away everywhere. But if you just want to blast your way through the story and the big set pieces, you won't miss out either, as these main missions offer plenty of good gear and side opportunities along the way. The game also has puzzler-type elements called brain dances, which are short detective-style segments where you scrub through memories and scan for clues, like the Arkham series detective mode. These break up the action nicely without dragging on, and they rarely outstay their welcome before getting you back in the action. The core standout of Cyberpunk, though, is just how many ways you can approach a mission. On my first run, I focused on an intelligence and technical ability build, which is great for hacking and gadgets, but not really ideal for stealth or gunplay. That said, failure didn't lock me out of missions because I blew a stealth segment. I just had to fight my way out instead, and I really loved that option because it kept the action flowing without punishing experimentation. Next time though, I think I will try more of a stealth focused build, which is a testament to the game's replay value. Night City builds up its atmosphere as a dark, brooding metropolis where future collides with the familiar. And it's an incredible looking game here, drenched in neon glow and rain-slick reflections that make every street corner feel alive. The way CD Projekt Red has balanced lighting, shadows and environmental effects sets the mood perfectly. Whether you're drinking at seedy bars or speeding down corporate-lined highways, what surprised me the most was just how stunning this world looks from top to bottom. Building interiors are packed with character, alleyways are dense with detail, and rain-slick roads shimmer under city lights. The lighting itself deserves special mention because it doesn't just brighten the world, it actually shapes it by casting eerie glows and shadows that change the feel of each district as you explore. Even the busiest parts of the city feel full and alive as crowds gather in marketplaces, food stalls line the streets, and apartment blocks are filled with all manner of denizens of Night City. It sells the illusion of a living, breathing world, something that many thought impossible on a portable system, and honestly, I don't know how they pulled it off. Cyberpunk 2077 on Switch 2 is a technical achievement and easily the best looking game on the platform to date. And that leads to the big question that everyone's asking. How well does Cyberpunk 2077 run on the Switch 2? For the most part, surprisingly well. In docked mode, the game maintains its target of 30 frames per second about 85 to 90% of the time. Sure, there are some dips, mostly when you're flying through the city at high speeds, and especially in areas like Dogtown, where the frame rate can tank. From what I've gathered, Dogtown is system heavy even on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, so seeing performance tension here on the Switch 2 isn't that shocking. Here's what really mattered to me as a player. Did these dips break my experience? No. Did they ruin combat or any major story moments? Honestly, no. Not once did I feel the performance got in the way of enjoying the world, the action, or the narrative of Cyberpunk. This isn't like those late generation ports we saw on the original Switch where frame rate drops were constant and distracting. Cyberpunk looks outstanding here, far beyond what I expected the Switch 2 was capable of, and these minor hiccups don't take away from that. In handheld mode, the battery life is something to plan around though. I only got about 2.5 hours in before hitting my 15% battery warning. Which is not really a surprise given how demanding the game is, and it's also a reminder that the Switch 2 battery has its limits. Don't expect to settle in for a 4 or 5 hour gameplay session without plugging in. Interestingly, docked mode on my setup only offered a quality mode, but players with 120Hz capable TVs will get access to a performance option. Handheld mode, however, gives you the choices of both, and they look fantastic either way. The DLSS scaling is noticeable, and it plays a huge role in helping the game stay sharp and detailed even on the smaller screen. I've played every Switch 2 launch title, and this is hands down the best looking game on the system. So far. Night City is simply breathtaking, whether you're docked or on the go. At $120 Australian, Cyberpunk justifies the new video game pricing conventions by offering a complete package. The full game, including the massive Phantom Liberty expansion, is packed onto the retail cartridge. No downloads, no game key codes, no online connection required. Everything you need is right there, ready to play out of the box. This comes in a time where industry divisiveness is frustrating players more than ever, and this feels like a complete, honest offering. There's incredible value here with a branching, replayable story that'll last you to 30 to 40 hours on the main path alone. Add a further 100 hours of gameplay or more, For those who want to explore every alley in Night City, or do every side job, or uncover every secret. Whether you're a first timer or looking to dive back in, there's more than enough here to justify the price. For my tombs after accessibility options, I'm pleased to report that Cyberpunk 2077 has a myriad of accessibility options available. There's full colorblind support, adjustable difficulty levels, multiple aim assist settings to make gunplay smoother for all types of players. You can disable hacking time limits if you prefer a more relaxed pace while cracking into terminals or enemies. The HUD is also highly customizable too. It lets you adjust what information appears on the screen. There's also a myriad of console exclusive control mode that also add to accessibility, including gyro aiming for precision shots, Joy-Con mouse mode for smoother menu navigation, and touchscreen functionality in handheld mode for quick hacking and inventory management. There's also a fun new addition called Motion Patterns, which feels like a throwback to the Wii era by letting you perform certain moves with a simple Joy-Con wiggle, adding a touch of physicality to the experience. CD Projekt Red should be applauded for the thought that has gone into making Cyberpunk 2077 accessible for a much wider range of players, and I'm so pleased to see this accessibility trend continue on from recent reviews. Cyberpunk 2077 on Switch 2 isn't just a technical achievement, it's a game that defines what this hardware is capable of. This is the definitive portable version of CD Projekt Red's epic RPG, offering the full Night City experience, and it sets a new bar for what we should expect from major third-party releases on the platform. For anyone who enjoys action RPGs or unforgettable, twisting narratives, this is an essential purchase. Whether docked on a big screen or played on the go, Night City looks absolutely stunning, plays smoothly, and offers an experience that's dangerously easy to lose hours in. Yes, there are minor performance hiccups, but they barely register in the face of the game's scope, depth, and sheer replayability. Unlike its chaotic setting in Night City, Cyberpunk 2077 gives us a clear look into the future of the Nintendo Switch 2, and that future looks very bright indeed. So, what's it like? Cyberpunk 2077 is like The Witcher meets The Matrix. I award it a 94 out of 100. Cyberpunk 2077 on Nintendo Switch 2 is a What's It Like certified exceptional game. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by the publisher, but this doesn't influence my score.
That's how you do it.
Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out whatsitLike.com.au.